Hello and welcome to the channel. So this episode is dedicated to spies, bots, and troll farms and troll farmers of the world. So as we all know, in the news recently, there have been plenty of hacks, lots of them targeting research for a vaccine to the pandemic, for example. And China, again, is in the news based on the Houston Consulate of China being forced to close by the US government and also being raided by federal agents while they burned documents in the courtyard. The fire department was dispatched. Lots of the documents, which may also be referred to as evidence, I suppose, was destroyed, as they had quite a bit of time to do so. Following proper protocol, they had to have notice of the closure. If only all of that information was available to US authorities, which unfortunately it was not. So what I find interesting is whenever I do an episode that is critical of actions or politics or decisions or allegations involving China, I get lots of comments from random people that seem to have zero subscribers and not a lot of activity. It's as if they just suddenly materialize to defend those actions and then they disappear again. And I don't even know if those are real legit accounts or what's up with that, but I do know that if I'm critical of a policy of any other government in the world, I really don't get that type of feedback. But whenever I say the word China, for example, in any way critical of any policies, I always get that feedback. And I'll get feedback such as, not really using profanity, but basically saying, that's stupid and blah, 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 just negativity and kind of thoughtless remarks that aren't based on the actual issue at hand. No facts, no real clear, intelligent, intellectual rebuttal, but simply just, that's ignorant, that's stupid, US is ignorant, blah, blah, blah. So I just find it quite interesting. So I feel like there's this campaign that's against any type of content that questions the politics and the policies of Hong Kong, or China, I should say. I'm sorry, getting those two confused now. With the passage of the Hong Kong security law recently, now China can arrest those in Hong Kong who are critical of the government. So I announced recently on a broadcast, I will no longer transit through Hong Kong, which means I won't be flying Cathay Pacific Airlines. I won't be a tourist in Hong Kong, because if you say the wrong thing, and it's very clear in the law that even as a foreigner, you're subject to the law. It doesn't just apply to citizens. So someone that's been critical of China 3 years ago or 5 years ago on social media and then goes there on vacation potentially could be scooped up, which is quite a concern, obviously. So I won't be going there to China either. And so I'm talking freely about my opinions. Now, I have nothing against the people of China. I have many friends that are from China. Nothing against the people of China, but I do have a lot against the passage of the Hong Kong security law, which criminalizes free speech, which criminalizes people being critical of policies of the government of China, and carries up to a life sentence for such words that you may utter or that you may type, which is quite extreme and contrary to how things should work in the world, in the civilized world, in my very humble opinion. And I'm also critical of the very firm allegations of America, which led to the closure of the Houston Consulate, that China has been spying not only on the American government, but on American companies, on American technology, and on Americans, and basically taking jobs away from America. How? By taking technology that would have led to jobs in America and bringing it into China and launching it there, where it will create jobs in China, exporting the same technology that was being created in America to China, where they're then selling and exporting that product or service that should have been based in America. So that's just another solid concern as far as the spying allegations, which are a bit more than allegations. The Houston Consulate of China was closed and was raided, and obviously there were quite a bit of grounds that went into that happening. So the interesting part really that I want to focus on briefly here is just that whenever I have an episode like this, if you look at the comments within a few days, you'll see a few random people commenting basically in defense of the policies of China and critical of the episode, and always they seem to be those without any kind of traction on their accounts, new And I'm wondering, are those real accounts? Are those bots? Are those troll farmers? And when I reply, there's never a response back. They just kind of disappear. And when I'm critical of other policies of other governments, that never tends to happen. I'm curious if any other creators have experienced that. I'm curious if anyone that posts comments yourself on videos you may watch on YouTube in discussing China, if you find replies to your own comments that are essentially defending China. And the way that they're defended, the way the comments are posted, I should say, in defense of China, it's just kind of these very generic negative statements of broad just dissatisfaction without any specifics, without any defense. So on a recent episode, when I talked specifically about Hong Kong security law, about the spying of China in the US, and about the origins of the pandemic being in Wuhan, China, that started right around the Chinese New Year, and how China has had much more favorable outcomes with the pandemic than America in terms of number of cases, very small compared to America, in terms of number of fatalities, very small compared to America. And it started there, and yet they've had a much more experience than most other major countries around the world in terms of cases, in terms of fatalities. Why is that? And so troll farmers, bots, and spies, here you go. You can go ahead and defend the actions of various policies and decisions and whatever else from China. I'm ready for it. Please post those comments. I'm expecting it, because it always happens when I talk China. So there we go. That's it for today's episode. Please click subscribe and the bell and all, and I will see you next time. Wish you the best. Goodbye.